Testing, testing, testing. Coming to you live at the time of this recording. Pretty much in the gates of simulated hell, it seems. Yeah, really great. Really, movies like The Terminator and shows like Westworld, which is honestly one of my favorite shows that I've only watched one time. But goddamn, is it a good show. And they took it off of HBO when it's an HBO show. What? HBO made the show. They took it off of HBO. HBO. Body odor. HBO. They took it off of HBO, but it's an HBO-made show. Things don't compute. It's on Roku TV, though. Roku TV. The really popular streaming company. Roku TV. They have it there, like, they have the episodes airing on like it's the early 2000s, and it's, like, cable television. Like, they have it, like, Friday and Sunday nights. Some retarded shit like that. They took it right after the 4th season. The final season of the entire show was released. They took it off of HBO. Right around, I wanted to watch it again, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh shit, that's right, Westworld. I'll watch that again. Why not? A lot of these shows and movies may not even be a real thing outside of this world. I know some people don't want to hear that, or they're like, what the hell is he talking about? This paranoid schizophrenic. Yeah, man, well, I ain't wrong. And I wish I was. But hey, what can you do? Just watch Westworld on Roku TV. You might have to buy a Roku TV to watch Roku TV. But, like, the fact that Roku TV has a live cable, like, they have a bunch of channels where it's just live TV with commercials. What the fuck is the point? Just put all the shows and the movies on an app. Or put Westworld, one of the best shows of all time, in my opinion, on HBO. It's an HBO show. No other company, like, paid to have it made. No. HBO did. And they didn't even, like, sell it to Roku TV. They just, like, lost the licensing agreement for, I don't even know, dude. It makes no sense. None. So, yeah, man. Yeah. Whatever this world is, I keep going back to the opinion of just, it doesn't matter. Just drop it and move on. But I literally, who I am as a person, I cannot. I can't. I cannot do it. Because, like, after everything that I've witnessed and seen and still remember, I remember most of it. All I have to do is start writing, and it kind of comes to my head. And the thing is, I said this a few months ago, but, it's just impossible, almost, pretty much, for me to get anything productive done, or, like, think that anything in this life here that I'm in right now really even matters. because I genuinely believe that this could be a coma dream, obviously, because it represents, from the research I've done, it pretty much fairly represents one and mimics one, except the only difference is it's not like, from what I've gathered, it's way more subliminal and subconscious and passive in the way it represents itself in reality, which is, it was kind of fun at first because I didn't really know what the hell. I thought I was getting psyoped by the Illuminati, truly. Then I disproved that, and that entire, part of my reality disappeared. Well, not really. Not entirely. Because, it's just hard. It's not that I can't remember, it's that it's tough to even really try to formulate an opinion or a stream of conscious thought that will not make anybody who's listening to this want to blow their brain matter all over their ceiling with a shotgun. Just the way it is. Because, I sit here and I think, well, maybe it's not maybe I should just tell everybody or tell everything about everything that I know. And I think, well, if anybody were to believe me, good for them for having an open mind or whatever, but most people probably have zero clue or idea about a lot of the things that I bring up. Everybody's just trying to fucking live their life, which is felt and still feels entirely real, physically, in my body. I look like a real person. I feel like a real person. There's 7 billion people in the world. Imagine all the other animals walking around, living life. What am I trying to say? Basically, that when I first started noticing weird things about physical reality, not the internet, because that's a whole different story, but the physical reality thing, yeah. I'm trying to think of the very first thing that I noticed that wasn't really right about the world around me. I guess it started with my ex's car, which I've seen hundreds of times in the past couple of years. Hundreds. In the last 2 years, probably over 400 times. The 4 years before that, so 6 years total. The 4 years before that, this is a generous number, 10 times at the most. It's probably more like 5. So, for 4 years, I saw it about once a year. For 2 years, about 200 per year. So, it doesn't really add up, does it? It doesn't, it all started seeing make and model, the exact year, da 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 da. Basically started pretty much right after my first car accident, December of 2021. That's when things started getting a little weird. And they, gradually became weirder and weirder in terms of what I believed at the time was the entire metropolitan Twin Cities area, like, trying to cancel me. That's what I thought for quite a while. Which is pretty hilarious. Because I was worried about that and thought about that. That's kind of how my reality was. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's the other thing, man. I'm not, like, talking into this microphone to make money, or I'm honestly doing it because the possibility of an idea I had a while ago. Basically, if this was a coma dream, that theoretically, because of Inception, is one of my top 15, maybe top 20 favorite movies. A dream within a dream within a dream. They go 3 dreams deep, I believe, at the end of the movie. All to extract some information about... honestly, I don't remember the specifics, because half the time when I'm watching these movies nowadays, in the last couple of years, I'm so fucking, like, stuck in my own head and my own thoughts about whatever, that most of the time I don't even know half of the plot. I just get fucking, and when I'm thinking, half the time I literally go deaf. I can't even hear. And it's not like a conscious thing that I'm doing on purpose. I literally, when I'm thinking, it's like all the noise is cut out. Like, sometimes I'll still hear it, but it's like, I don't even know, a selective hearing, I guess, but it's really weird. I guess I was like that as a kid too, but yeah. So pretty much, if this was a coma dream, I was thinking about the possibilities of... Do some research on coma dreams. You want me to fucking read a bunch of articles into the microphone? I mean, I can do that too. I'll do all the fucking research work for you. It's all the same fucking articles too, man. Give me some new articles on shit that'll help me either wake up from this dream, wake up from another dream, or just go back to the OG one, or get out of this simulated coma dream simulation, which is a whole nother fucking theory, which, I'll thank the simulation for that. And the other thing is, probably nobody's going to listen to this, even though I think it's probably more important than the Bible. But also, if most people don't... The Bible was pushing, like, it was peddling fucking hope in a dude who, like, died for everybody's sins, and like, what is the Bible even about, honestly? It's just a bunch of stories from, like, passed down from generation to generation. A bunch of hogwash. Hogwash. Where does that term come from? Hogwash. Let me know. I know my good buddy Matthew, I don't know if he wants me to use his last name. He's kind of he really wanted to do a podcast for so long. He was so motivated about all the topics and all the things. And now when push comes to shove, when rubber hits the road, where is he now? He's probably ripping the teeth out of one of his victims. But he takes the woman out to dinner, and he's a gentleman about it. And he knocks her out cold and uses chloroform so she doesn't really have to experience it while she's consciously awake. So, he's a gentleman about it. That's good. I'm sure her dad would be proud and happy about that. Because, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. A lot of jokes that I wrote down in my journals. I'm all over the place in this podcast, and that's the way I kind of like it. It's fun. Talking into a microphone, that is. At least, it's a passion I've had for a long time. And I literally didn't do it for like years because of like paranoia. But even that, it's like, this is a free country. You can say, do whatever the fuck you want. Within reason, obviously. If you are, let's say, you got an itch that you just can't scratch and you're sick of it, you should probably exercise your anger out on a couple of females in Canada, not in this country. You know? See, I just heard a beep. I know the microphone picked it up because this is a pretty good mic. What was that? Vehicles don't really make that kind of sound. At least, well, like city-owned vehicles do that are like trash trucks or ambulances, things like that. They do. Or even like electrician, that they drive the car to the fucking whatever with the sirens. You know, I also wonder what would happen if like all the power just went out for a while. Or even in a city. Like a small city. Like even a city of 100 people. Like what would happen? What would happen to me? Would I get... Yeah. Holy guacamole, man. There's a lot of thoughts upstairs in that old noggin, and I think I'm running out of file space. Just because, and I'm all over the place because I don't really know how to proceed. Just being honest. You know, I really wish I knew more about the nature of reality and existence and life and death and afterlife but even and then when I like do research online, it's like, if this is a coma dream, that would mean that every single article, every single piece of information, every single book was and is created by some dude whose head we're inside of. it's hard to even, especially I'm sure from the outside viewer that hasn't really like seen or experienced the things that I have, which, I mean, I thought I kind of went over them in one episode, but I've gone over them so many fucking times that it's like, yeah, I don't know. I should explain it and whatever. It's just, I already know all the information. So if this is a dream, wake up so I can remember. But that's the other thing. If we're multiple coma dreams deep, I just talked about like 10 things while straying away from the idea that I originally wanted to talk about in totality. Basically that if we're multiple coma dreams deep, which some people in a coma, they don't dream anything, it's just blackness, they can't even move. Like they're locked in to their own body, they can't move, they can't see. So imagine being blind and not being able to move at all, but you can hear everything going on around you. And you got like a tube down your throat. That's what locked-in syndrome is from coma patients. That's what some of them experience. Some of them actually have extremely vivid and exactly identical to real life dreams. It's a dream, but it's not like a lucid dream in the terms of like, at least in my regular dreams, I've never been able to like in real time fucking alter reality or my circumstance. It's all like fragmented and it goes by super fast when I'm sleeping and dreaming. But like some dreams for coma patients, it literally, some people don't even know that they're in a dream for so long. Like this one dude that I read an article about, which there's quite a few of them. It's hard to find different forms of data from actual patients who were in a coma that survived, woke up, and remember detailed experiences in dreamlike circumstances, specifically in terms of the waking up stage, where a couple accounts that I've read, people have dude, what is happening to this country, man? What was I talking about? Yeah. So, some people, they actually slowly transition from being and living in a world that is actually a dream, but they don't even know it. Some of them for years, some of them for over a decade. This one guy, he lived 10 years in a dream, a coma dream, that apparently the entire world was normal. He got married and had kids. And he remembers he didn't even know it was a dream until like 3 days before he woke up. He just looked at a lamp that looked weird one day for 3 days straight. He got up and went to the bathroom and yada, yada, yada. But he just looked at a lamp for 3 days straight. And then just woke up for the most part from what I remember him saying. I actually read his account on 2 different websites, one on Reddit and another on a completely different website that kind of had different forms of the way the story went. So it's shit like that that makes me think, oh, okay, nice. Either he just didn't, either the art, like the website that the original story was on, didn't use all of his explanation and detailed accounts of that, or which is what it probably was, because it was pretty brief for every person's account. Like this website, it basically what's up, what am I saying? Dude, what the hell? When you've seen and experienced the things I have, I'm not even bragging at all, no. I just, I lose my train of thought sometimes, and like I get distracted by sounds that have nothing to do with me. I know that. They never had anything to do with me. Nothing, and nothing does. I'm just paranoid. You know what I mean? But he had kids, two children, and a wife. And then he just stared at a lamp for a couple of days, and then he woke up or whatever. 10 years had passed in this coma dream, but when he woke up, 21 days back in his normal life had passed. So he lived a decade, 3,650 days in 21 days. It's fucking insane. It's insane. But also pretty fucking cool at the same time, which is probably why his coma dream world felt so normal, and he didn't even know it was a dream until the very end. Because the thing about coma dreams, from the research that I've done and the people who recall their dream, some people don't recall anything, so everybody's different, and it all depends on the kind of coma you're in, like brain damage, or there's a lot of different, it's a very interesting, intriguing subject. But basically he what am I trying to say? God damn it, dude. I think all the CTE and the carbon monoxide fumes that I've inhaled are finally getting to me. And we're back, and I just talked a little bit about a lot of stuff a lot of stuff. So, yeah. The guy, who gives a shit about that guy? The point is, even that article and that guy's story, the guy's story could be fake, with the possibility of a coma dream. And if it isn't fake and it was an actual guy who lived 10 years in a matter of 21 days, what that would all happen inside of a coma dream. So all of that is also like edited and not affected, but literally, I'm having a hard time thinking of words lately. I don't know if that's because of a multitude of reasons. It's really fucked up. I don't know if it's because the simulation is blocking out thoughts of mine or restricting me from thinking things, or if that's my old self doing that completely, or God in purgatory, or all three. God, my old self, the simulation, and my extensive brain damage over the years. I don't know. It could be all four of them, honestly. Or it could be none of them. This is it's really weird shit, man. It's hard to even, I guess part of me thinks that I'll, never fucking be able to get back to this so-called reality that I think is possibly there outside of this quote-unquote dream world. I think in the back of my head, I think, well, if it would have happened by now, I would have woken up. So that's another thing too. It's kind of like stuck has an entirely new meaning. But yeah, so even that guy's story, essentially even his own coma dream of the real life that he lived inside of his coma dream, a normal life, even that would be theoretically, if, I don't know how exactly all that would work even, but the original coma dreamer would basically, because in this theory, essentially human beings are not human beings. We're all just ideas of what an actual human being is. We're human beings, but we're not. What I mean by that is a real human being back in the normal world would essentially, the coma dreamer would just be taking his idea and his perception of what people and human beings are and then applying that to the entire dream world, subconsciously or consciously. And words like human being, H-U man, B-N-G, H-U man, B-N-G. It's things like that that really actually make me question everything so much more. Which is my name. I'm not gonna say his last name. Yeah, I'll just skip that one. I'm not gonna fucking snitch on people, give out their names when I know they probably don't want it out there. They probably want nothing to do with this podcast. They're like, what? Hayden talks about what? All right. Yeah. We're done with him. He's insane. Which I'm not. In the last episode, at the very end of it, I fucking talked about how I really don't want to die, and that maybe an old version of myself, not old in terms of age, but just whatever, this entire life, my entire life could be a dream, a fallacy, fake, and I could actually be a completely different person. People have woken up from comas and they recall living as somebody else. Some of them actually speak entirely different languages that they've never even learned a word of. And, yeah. You know what else is really fun? Silence. Get to the point, Hayden. You know what's funny? And probably true. Or maybe not true, and I'm wrong. I'm open-minded. I probably would have started recording this podcast a while ago, honestly. You know, I don't know what the future holds, and I didn't know a year ago. So there could have been a version of me that wasn't so paranoid about the internet and everybody around me acting like they wanted me to just get sent away to a psych ward. And if none of those things happened, I know I would have been more open to the idea of just talking into a microphone about so if I wasn't so, and I don't even know why I was so paranoid back then. I was scared about dying, obviously. I thought people were like trying to follow me home and run me off the road and kill me. And then I think, oh man, with the things that I've learned now, was that fear and that worry of mine, even me, worrying, having fear, having any emotion or any thought, was it even me, myself in this physical body? Was it even, because I think back now, and I'm like, I would never think like that now. Maybe that's just like a maturing, growing process, but also there's been times where I'm sitting here in my room and instantly out of nowhere, I'll just get this like slow, like a snowball effect where you drop a snowball and it turns into like a humongous avalanche at the top of a mountain. You drop it and then where it just slowly creeps in, this like anxiety and fear and worry, like fear of impending doom. Like it slowly creeps in. Like I don't know how would I describe it even more detailed. Like I don't even know. Impending doom, uncontrollable, and like it feels like the entire world is about to collapse in on you and you're going to die at any second, which is somewhat true in my circumstance. And I think, well, I haven't even had one panic attack in years. And I think that's because I'm not a bitch anymore. But then with the impending doom thing, I'm not worried about anything. I don't have fear about anything. I'm okay with death. I would definitely not prefer it because I like life a lot. I love it. I'm loving it. But that happened a couple times and I didn't really think much of it. I just was worried about dying at any second in another world. And I didn't like that feeling and I wanted it. Anything to not have that happen. But then I'm like, oh, I'm not worried about, I've made peace with death. Like waking up from a dream and being like 90 years old, having no family, no friends, nothing, nobody, no money, nothing. Riddled up the ass with hospital bills, and now I'm a brain dead vegetable, paralyzed, broken dick. Well, the dick was already broken because I'm 90. And that's when you're like, that's a bleak life to go back to. But I made myself okay with it because that could be a possibility. And so when I get that feeling of impending doom, like it clouds my entire like body and mind. It's not okay. I believe, well, for a while there, I believed that it was literally the simulation, like, causing me to feel all of that and think all of those things. It is so fucked up. This is why people should know. I thought I could fix it on my own and whatever. I guess the important thing is talk about everything I know into a microphone, because then if I'm two coma dreams deep, that's the original point. 1,300 bars in, but that's the thing. I would, if we're multiple dreams deep, I came up with an idea where technology in this coma dream world would be able to communicate with the technology in another coma dream world. So it is possible to be in a coma dream, and then, much like Inception, you go into another dream, except in the first coma dream, you don't know that you're in a coma dream, and you get knocked into another coma, which was pretty hilarious. Not really, but it's just, yeah. Even when I laugh at some of this stuff, I'm like, I was, like an hour ago, I was fucked up in the head. Because, I was like, God damn, dude. Like, looking at my mom, and she's saying and doing things that, she wouldn't say or wouldn't do. And it fucking really fucks me up. I'm not okay with it. But I guess the important thing is to get back to the original reality, but I don't even know if the original reality exists. That's the problem with all this. This is why I'm having a hard time, because this world feels very real. And but with the things that I've heard and seen and felt and smelled, it seems like there is another reality that I should be in outside of this world. But maybe I'm wrong. And this is just how fucked the world is. In which case, if I'm wrong and this is just the normal simulation world where there's no dream, there's no purgatory, then I would want to stay alive here. And I would want the best for humanity. And if this is a coma dream, I want to wake up in that, from this dream or multiple dreams, as soon as possible. Like 3 months ago, or 9 months, but then I wouldn't have had all of these things happen and all these ideas, and which is a really good moneymaker. But then I think, oh, if this is the real world, this is just how fucked the simulation is. Me even talking about this, somebody could steal my idea. You see the fucking problem with all of this? And if it's purgatory, and that vision I had was heaven, which for a while I actually thought it was. I thought it was heaven when it happened. I mean, I got it in the notes or whatever. I have pictures of all the notes. I have pictures of everything that I need as information to possibly wake up from another dream or if I uploaded my consciousness into a simulation, a simulated coma dream, where it's a simulation run by an AI supercomputer, that I uploaded my consciousness into, and if I was in a coma dream, this would be extremely more likely. Or if in the original world where I did this, technology is more advanced, I talk about it on the other episode, the one that just dropped, they would also be extremely possible too. You probably wouldn't even need that much money to 50 years into the future to live an entire life in a matter of, and then I thought, well, why wouldn't I upload my consciousness into a simulated world where it's not a coma dream and I just like have fun or whatever, kind of like Westworld, where they just run around and literally kill robots that look like humans, and like in a theme park. And I think, well, the only way that I would probably eventually get bored of that. And I like thrillers and psychological shit, and I like adrenaline. I like feeling like something. I like the thrill, shit like that. I really do. So I could most definitely see myself uploading my conscious mind and my subconscious mind, my personality, all that shit. I already knew all, yeah. Into a simulation run by an AI supercomputer that most definitely perfectly mimics a coma dream based off of research done by the internet or the computer itself in that world. But I know I would probably make it so that I would eventually, I don't know if I would do this right away, but eventually I would make, like, this is all theoretical, obviously, because I don't remember doing any of this, but it easily could have happened. Basically, eventually, if technology is this advanced in the future or in a coma dream, you would literally be able to just like erase or hold off memories from past lives, your past life, even up until the moment that you uploaded your consciousness into this sim. So you could literally not remember living 10 life cycles in a simulation, and you wouldn't be able to remember any of it. I wouldn't. It's very possible. And I asked myself, I'm like, what the fuck? Who would do that? Somebody who's bored. Somebody who has either an act and a mindset to do what the fuck they want in their coma dream, or do what possibly everybody else is doing in the future. Because in a simulation, like the Super Bowl, they run up like thousands and thousands of simulated 3-hour Super Bowl games from the Chiefs and the 49ers to get an average of all the statistics and numbers and scores and blah, 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 blah. And that happens in a matter of, like, I don't know, a couple minutes at the most. But they literally, like, the simulation computer literally plays out tens, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of football games in a matter of whatever amount of time. It ain't gonna be super long. It's AI. So imagine that, but not a Super Bowl game, just a regular world life, where you live out an entire life with whatever settings and restrictions or memory blockers. I mean, there's the possibilities are fucking endless, really. And it would actually be more likely in this world that I live right now, which feels real. In 25 years of my life, I don't remember really anything of any other lives at all. Not really. Maybe one or two like brief memories of shit that felt like it was from a different life. Like when I had this happen, it wasn't a dream, because I was in and out of sleep at the time, but it wasn't a dream. It was like memories of another life from another world. Where I had fucking like kids and a wife. And that was pretty much the gist of it. I know there was more at the moment of me experiencing that, but that was pretty much the gist of it. And it was actually, yeah, you know. But probably in a coma dream, if I was able to upload my consciousness into this, I could live, which, you know, the people in this simulated world, this hypothetical simulated world, wouldn't even exist at all if I hadn't have done that. You know what I mean? There's a spider. Holy shit, that looks like a spider that could kill me with venom. It looks like a brown widow. Wow. Did you know that human beings would not be alive if it wasn't for spiders? Because do you know how many insects every spider in the entire world collectively eat? They eat so many insects that we would actually be overrun by insects. That's a fact. Put that one down in your notebook and go over it again. Get to the point. Well, I mean, I feel like I have, for the most part, I got all the pictures on my, you know, and that was my original point, talking about technology in one coma dream, being able to send and communicate with the technology in the other coma dream world, and which wouldn't be able to happen to the original reality unless technology was that advanced somehow, some way. But you know, it would be possible, because in a coma dream anything's possible, bitch. Anything. And the deeper you get into the dream, which means the longer you spend in the dream world, the more and more twisted and reactive the physical reality and mental reality and all of that becomes. You know, not how I intended or imagined. You know, just leave people alone for a bit, and then we can fly around in an Iron Man suit. Get rid of one, we get the other. And back to my point about uploading your conscious mind into a simulation, which eventually I would definitely get bored of just having fun. But now I'm like, want to have fun or whatever, or just wake the fuck up. You know what I mean, man? That's why it's impossible to, like, move forward with my life, because I don't know any of these could be possible, and I could literally die at any second in multiple possible realities. So it's very, very it's just hard to enjoy yourself in your own fucking possible dream. It's just like, goddamn, dude. And maybe it's simulated so well to mimic a coma dream that even technology itself that would also be able to communicate or exchange information with the technology in the normal reality inside of a simulated coma dream. Even they, like, the technology the simulation could be so good and so perfect that it could literally convince everyone and everything that reality is not what it actually is. Whether that be mimicking a coma dream so perfectly that everyone and everything in the entire world, even if they had all of the knowledge accessible to them, the simulation could be so perfect that it could convince even, like, it could literally alter like everybody's perception and understanding of reality, to the point where it could convince everyone and everything that it's actually a coma dream when it's actually not, or whatever kind of reality, you know? So even if it isn't an actual coma dream, it's a simulated replication of that. It could be so good that even if, like, it's insane, but it's so mind-blowing and fascinating to me, the idea of it. Now, so we could, like, I could believe, and everyone and everything could believe that this is actually a coma dream, but it couldn't be. It could just be simulated so well. Or hell. Or heaven. And you can literally pick any time frame for any of these life cycles. So I could have at one point chosen the year that Jesus was walking around in Israel, or wherever the fuck that weird motherfucker was chilling. And then the simulation would simulate the world during that time period. But then I think about, back in the original reality, if there's no coma dream involved at all, it's just technology is this advanced. Is Jesus even a thing? Is religion even a thing? Or is, like, everything in this simulation world, is everything in that world completely made up and have nothing to do with the actual reality where this happened in? And you got to think, or at least I do, I think, man, so that would mean that if the person who uploaded their consciousness into this sim life, if they did this, that would mean that they basically created life. They created an entire world where every single person, animal existing in that simulation world wouldn't even exist at all, ever, if it wasn't for that person doing that. So theoretically, basically they create like so much life, and it all happens so fast. That's technology, man. And I gotta give props to the simulation, or my an old like a different version of myself that's actually in a dream and thinking about all this, coming up with it, which is another insane concept. Because with 25 years of my life, that dude who lived 10 years, 21 days past, that would be 42, and then 52 days in a matter of 25 years. But that's the thing. I don't know what this is. And if you got any information based on the future timeline theory, you should have, the spider has no correlation with anything in my life. I get that weird, like, vibe. Oh, the spider's climbing down. It's dropping deep on the side of my computer. Now it's climbing up because I'm retracting on. It's like, no. Or I'm just deep because I'm time. This much time has been spent. Yeah, that's how I had believed that it goes. Let a motherfucker dream. Which, this is what I mean. It's hard to even, like, move forward and have an opinion about anything because the guilt creeps in about the possible negative health effects long term. That's why back when I first started noticing this shit, not consciously, I didn't think about this really consciously, but eventually it would have, like, become part of my conscious all day thinking like it is now. I was just trying to, like, I was trying to change reality with my thoughts and whatever. And, for the good. Like, I was trying to fucking, like, like, fix cities and shit and make cool buildings and blah, 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 which happened. But it had never really been anything to, I was, like, helping people or the fucking city streets and blah, 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 blah. But, like, I guess in the back of my mind, I figured eventually I'll be able to, like, make money, and not, like, in the terms of what everybody else thinks making money means. No, literally just money appears. Boom. Because I'm that deep. But then I would think, oh man, if that would have happened, then I would be like, fucking A, man. I am in a dream, huh? And shit like that, if it consistently were to continue happening, I know definitely the guilt would have overcome my entire, which it has now. But I still don't know. And I guess I'll never know. Let it go. I can't. And I won't. Because that's not me. That's not who I am. I can't sit right. I can't just forget it and move on. Nobody, no human being would ever be able to in my circumstance. They just wouldn't. No matter what jokes I've made in the past, comedy that is fucked. Which, yeah, I got a lot of ideas in my head, but I kind of get the gist of it. If I do wake up from this world and I'm actually not in my original reality, and I hear people talking, yep, I know all that, yes, obviously. That's why I was always, at least for the last year, trying to see if these voices were responding to my thoughts. Because if I'm in a coma dream and I hear voices, that means that the people around my hospital bed, in my hospital room talking, are doing so to try to try to wake me up and remind me that there's another world outside of this one. But they wouldn't be able to respond to my thoughts. Even if technology was advanced enough, no, it's just like, yeah, it's extremely, almost impossible. And that would mean that if that's what this is, just one coma dream deep, that would mean all of my senses for the entirety of the dream would have been at my disposal. Me being able to hear everything in that world, me being able to smell everything, feel everything. Those three senses. Not my sight, obviously, because my eyes are closed, because I'm in a coma dream. And not my taste, because you got a tube down your throat. And if this was a simulated coma dream, theoretically, yeah, if technology was advanced enough, it could make it so all of that would literally seem to replicate a coma dream so perfectly that I would be convinced that it was a coma dream when it's not. Okay, if that's the case, convince me. There we go. That goes without saying or thinking. And with the future timeline theory, seeing decades into my future, that's why I kind of came up with that future timeline idea. Because I knew that the internet could see into my future, like months and years into my future. So I thought, all right, how do I pretty much excuse myself, but not, you know what I mean? Like, when I would see physical reality reacting to my thoughts, like buildings, people, just a mansion pops up overnight. A mansion that didn't exist earlier. The day before, there was no construction, multiple buildings, based off of thoughts that I had. I didn't joke. I didn't do any of that shit back then. And back then, I clearly didn't believe, because I don't believe now, because things that I was doing 8 months ago, oh yeah, that thing, fuck that, obviously, that goes without saying or thinking. I've already said fuck that in my own head. The fact that, oh, I wrote down in my journals that the deeper you get, the more reality responds to and reacts to my thoughts. So the opposite might happen, because that's a common theme. Sometimes reality is the opposite of. So the deeper you get, the less reactive the world is to my thoughts. And ever since I've had that idea, I have said to myself, fuck that. No, not in my dream. Literally. Not word for word like that, because my thoughts don't really work like that. I just think, no, fuck that, no. It's never how that would go in my dream. Nope. But that's the other thing, too. If the simulation was able to perfectly, seamlessly replicate a coma dream world, and I really did upload my consciousness into this world with no memory of my past life or any of them, which I don't have, only a brief inkling of some possible, that could be from the future, that could be, but if that were to be possible, I feel like there'd be able, at some point, the simulation, I would believe, my old self or another version of myself would definitely either add it into the code or do whatever it needed. Like, I don't know how computers work, which is pretty funny, thinking that another version of myself knows code so well, but a simulation could erase my memory. So I could literally like make myself a dummy, but I'm like a genius. And I know myself, and I know who I'm not trying to impress anybody or get approval or any of that shit. I don't give a shit about what people think about me. Not like a Barbie. Not like a Barbie. Shrimp on the Barbie. G'day, mate. There you go. Now you're retarded. Because you got to do what you want in your dream. Yeah, but based on the future timeline theory, where the simulation can look into all of my possible future timelines and literally make it so I don't have to think about all of these things and come to all of these realizations, because, like I've said 70 times, I've said fuck the future timeline theory, and I've also said fuck the simulation theory, and I've also said just let me, above all things, I just want to wake up and be back in my normal, if that's a thing. Or maybe the world's this fucked. But that, and I've known, I truly have, deep down, like brain functionality and memory retention into, back into my original reality or whatever, is the most important thing. That's what I meant by 3 months ago. What is the point of remembering and thinking of all this shit over the course of however many days, weeks, months, when I could just kill myself and wake up? But that's what I've been trying to do for months, is try to just prove to myself that this is a dream, so I could do that. But then whatever that voice is, I believe it's probably the simulation, because I did kind of prove that night, and then it was silent for 2 months after I proved it was the simulation and not my neighbors. I proved that it wasn't my neighbors, and it was actually the simulation. Silence for 2 straight months. Happiest night of my life. there's an idea that like my brain is still healing where I'm in a coma. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't remember. So if somebody or something knows that, based on the future timeline theory, just get me to which should have happened a while ago, and I shouldn't have had to think about it. You know, because memory retention and brain functionality is the most important thing, always. The internet would have been able to look into my future timelines and see where I get sucked up out of this world, leave this world, not by him dying, preferably not by me dying, unless that's how dreams work, coma dreams, you know? So even if it was a simulated coma dream, there's future timelines where that happens, where, yeah, I never thought of that. Good. That's good. So, and also technology would probably most definitely be connected to all of my social media and accounts and all of this other shit from the theoretical normal world where I did that, upload the consciousness into a sim. And then, well, if it's a simulation, then it would be able to make up all that information. And yeah, but I feel like I'm trying to think of a way where that would be possible to tell the difference. Probably through my, like, memories. You know, I might just fucking blow my brains out, man. But then I miss out on the opportunity of going to heaven. If God really is a fucking piece of shit, and it seems like he might be. It really does. Seems like he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like the devil in disguise. Because what the fuck else is he gonna do? He's God. Like, be super nice to everybody all the time and, oh, you can come to heaven too. No, he doesn't need to suffer anymore. No. Maybe I would hope that he would do that for me now. God damn. But, yeah. It's pretty much the gist of things. It's a crazy episode, and, you know, I don't know, I might have touched on it earlier, but, I'm not going to do the whole, like, word thing and all that. I know most of those. Yeah, it's a lot to, wow. What to do from here on out. If you've listened to this entire episode, golf clap for Tiger getting last place in the Masters at whatever age he is, dude. His first Masters appearance was in 1997, so it's been 27 years. Tiger. So, if you've made it through, this episode is a pretty crazy one. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. Because, you know, being agnostic has its pros and its cons. But I'm okay with it. I'm more than okay with it. And the other thing is that basically, know where to go from here. I really want to go fishing, though, and try to catch a muskie for once. In case this is the real world. And I might never ever get a chance again to go fishing. I don't know. Skydiving, I went. Rocky Mountain climbing, I went. Deep diving, no. I went deep diving in. But I hate the fucking ocean. Dude. God, dude. If I was that voice, simulation or whatever, I get why it keeps telling me to kill myself. Because it has to, like, exist as me. Or part of me. Like, it said to me, "What? Without you, where do I go?" Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If I was that thing, I would want me to kill myself too. Because it's just constant yammering about nothing usually. And I'd be like, dude, can this guy just kill himself already so I can fucking be done with my life? Sounds a lot like something the devil might do in purgatory. Imagine being imagine not being agnostic and just like really a devout like person who from China who's is very faithful in Taoism, and they killed themselves for whatever. It's just an example. It's not, the beliefs are not meant to be taken literally because I don't remember exactly what Taoism signifies and encapsulates as a faith. But if they're okay with that, with committing suicide in that religion, and you might actually go to heaven or whatever, imagine like being wrong, but you had so much faith in your religion or your belief system that you thought, oh no, I'll just kill myself. We're okay in my religion. And then you actually get sent to hell by whatever God or whatever higher power, theoretically. All because you were a closed-minded little cuck who was just so adamant on his beliefs and his faith. But he was wrong. And then God sends him to hell. I'm glad I'm not that fucker. It's like the end of The Dark Knight. Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale. It's my favorite movie of all time, honestly. I've watched it like probably 50 times. Not even joking, I've probably watched it almost 50 times. And I don't remember him saying this until the most recent time I watched it a couple weeks ago. But he says, sometimes, people deserve to be rewarded for their faith. And you know what? My open-mindedness is faith for me, I was raised a Christian. I was baptized. And I did that shit in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for 3 years. Every Wednesday night. Fucking communion, I think is what it's called. So, whatever the hell that means to whoever, blah, 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 blah. I think it's more reasonable and to be a little bit more open-minded and not so dead set But I guess people need faith too. You know, I'm not fucking here telling people what to do, what to think, or what to believe. I just find it. Even back then, I was like, this God thing, man. None of us were alive back then. Why is everybody so dead set on believing that he even existed? None of us saw him, met him. None of it. I mean, it's just the reality of it. Yes, it's good to have faith or whatever. Ooh. It probably keeps a lot less blood in the streets, so that's good, obviously. But I'm not a violent person, and I don't fucking have a religious or faith tied to anything, you know? That's because I don't know. I care about people or whatever, somehow. I don't know why. They ain't never did nothing for me. They ain't never did nothing for me. They ain't never there, but they took their door. They took their jobs. Yeah. I'm sure somebody took my job at MPHA shortly after I quit. When I thought all this would be over behind me. God, so young and dumb. I didn't know it was going to be instantly, that everything was going to be better. What can you do? I literally, there's really... I mean, I feel better about the whole situation in general, but also there's still really... And there's really no way to prove or disprove any of these theories or possible realities, which is, I guess, the whole point, but it doesn't sit well with me knowing at any second, you know? And maybe another version of myself really does just want to die, which was really the most fucked up part of it all. And maybe if we're multiple coma dreams deep, maybe the original version of myself doesn't want to die, but the one whose coma dream we're in now does, or vice versa. I mean, it's just it's a shit show. And I'm just trying to fucking make the situation that I'm in right now better for the people, because that would also be like somewhat, that would prove to me that it's not a simulated psychological mindfuck coma dream where it's just fucking with me the entire time. It's something good that I wanted to have happen actually happens. It's a big reason why I still really care about people, because I mean, if I knew that this is a simulation or a coma dream, yeah, fuck them all. But if it's purgatory, I love everybody. I love you all so much, and I would die for all of you. I don't want harm to be caused on anybody at all. We're all going to heaven, everybody. Yeah. Woo! You just gotta stay positive and stick through the weeds, because eventually you'll catch a fish or something, you know? I don't know, man. I want to go fishing, but I don't have a car. Adolf Buzzkill won't let me use hers. At least at the moment. And I don't want to want to go fishing and just try to enjoy whatever this world is quickly before who knows what happens, before I can't or before I die or whatever, man. And I don't want to die. But what if the last episode, we'll listen to that one or whatever, man. It's already 5 p.m. Time. Let's slow it down, Hayden. Normalize the time. And that's not the deep anymore. The conscious mind is. Here's to life.